Hi everyone, I'm Emma, and you're on the Stories by Emma channel. Let's dive into some amazing stories. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. The Hidden Truth. Emily stood on the crowded subway platform, her heart pounding as she tightly held her bag. She had received an anonymous tip about a secret meeting that night, a meeting that could unravel a dangerous conspiracy. The message warned her not to trust anyone, not even those closest to her. She glanced around trying to stay calm, but something felt wrong. As the subway screeched to a stop, Emily cautiously boarded and sat in the farthest corner. Her mind raced with the possibilities. The city had been on edge for months, with whispers of corruption among the most powerful. Emily had been investigating for weeks, piecing together small clues, but tonight felt different. This was her chance to get the evidence she desperately needed. Halfway through the ride, she noticed a man on the opposite side of the car, staring at her. Dressed in a dark coat, his gaze never left her. Emily's grip on her bag tightened as cold sweat formed on her palms. Was he following her? Or was this just her nerves getting the better of her? The subway came to a stop, and Emily quickly stepped off, hoping to lose him in the crowd. She moved fast through the station, her heart beating louder with every step. The dim station lights flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. She could hear footsteps behind her, steady and deliberate. Someone was following her. Emily slipped into a narrow alleyway, pressing her back against the cold brick wall. She could hear her pursuer getting closer. Her breath caught as she peeked around the corner. The man from the subway stood at the entrance, scanning the area. Emily held her breath, praying he wouldn't find her. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. Another message: "I know where you are. Run." Emily's stomach sank as she read the words. She had no choice. She sprinted down the alley, her footsteps echoing in the empty street. The man shouted after her, but she didn't stop. She rounded a corner and suddenly, a van screeched to a halt in front of her. Two men jumped out and grabbed her before she could react. They dragged her into the van and everything went black. Emily's mind raced. Who were they? Was this connected to her investigation? She needed to stay calm. When she woke up, she was in a dimly lit room tied to a chair. Her bag was gone and so was her phone. A man stood in the shadows watching her. "You've been looking where you shouldn't," he said in a cold voice. Emily's heart raced, but she remained silent. "Who do you work for?" he demanded. Emily's mind spun as she tried to figure out what to say. She had no allies here, no way out. But she couldn't let them know how much she had uncovered. She had to be smart. "I'm just a journalist," she replied calmly. "Looking for a story." The man stepped forward, his face now visible under the dim light. He was older, with sharp features and piercing eyes. "A journalist? You think that's going to help you?" He smirked, pulling out a file from the table. "We know everything about you, Emily. Everything." Her stomach twisted as she realized how deep this conspiracy went. They had been watching her, tracking her every move. But she couldn't give up now. She needed to find a way out. As the man stepped closer, Emily noticed the small knife strapped to his belt. It was her only chance. With a sudden burst of adrenaline, Emily lunged at him, grabbing the knife and slashing through the ropes binding her hands. The man shouted in shock, but she didn't hesitate. She bolted for the door, her heart pounding. She could hear the others chasing after her, but she was faster. Emily ran through the dim corridors, her lungs burning, but she didn't stop. She knew she had to escape, to expose the truth before it was too late. The exit was just ahead, and with one final push, she burst through the door into the cold night air. She was free for now. As she ran down the street, headlights suddenly flashed behind her. The van was back, speeding toward her. Her legs felt like jelly, but she kept running. Just when she thought she couldn't go any further, a car pulled up beside her, and the door swung open. "Get in," a familiar voice shouted. It was her editor, Mark, the only person she could trust. He floored the gas as soon as she slammed the door shut. "I know everything," he said, handing her back her bag. "We've got the evidence now. They're finished." Emily sighed in relief, tears welling in her eyes. She had made it. The truth would finally come out.